So here's a close-up of what's called the calculator dial and the settings for a Vivitar 285 HV flash. So we're going to kind of go through these a little bit and make sure you kind of understand what we do with each part of it here. So if we look at the white triangle part here, I'm going to start with that, the white triangle. The white triangle is going to line up to an ISO that should match the camera ISO. So currently it's set up to ISO 100. Now the next thing we can do is we can look at the black triangle. And the black triangle, if I tilt this a little bit here, you're going to see it lines up to a strength power ratio. So right now it's 1:1 or full power currently. And then we have the set of apertures, the F, and so you can see it starts at 1.4 and goes all the way to 22. And then inside the circle is our distance scales. And there's a bunch of little white numbers, and it might be a tiny bit hard to read. So I probably can't get too close here. But for example, right now, F22 is set up to about 7 feet away, kind of 7 to 10 feet away. It's in that range right there. So if you move the power scale, you'll see that it'll line up different apertures with the same thing. So now 7 feet away is closer in the 16 box. And as I go down here, it's closer into the 11 box and so on here. So as I change the scale. So now I'm at 1/16 with the black triangle there. So you can kind of see those differences there. Now realize this just works as a calculator. And if you were to actually change the power, so for instance 1/16, I need to actually change this part right here. So this part is called the vary power or the auto thruster. And it actually will move and change power too. So it's a little bit difficult. So I just went down to half. I'll bring this kind of in the center. So I went down to 1/4. Now I'm going down to 1/16. So that's kind of the range for this flash. The other thing you can do is you can look at what's called kind of the semi-automatic modes, and those are the colors. So if we do a yellow color, that lines up with the yellow here on the calculator dial. So for example, right now the yellow box is lined up outside the power ratio, so I got to put the power back. And now the yellow box is lined up with 2.8. So if I had my aperture set to 2.8, it gives me a range, and it will automatically adjust between 60 feet and about 20 feet. So if I'm photographing at an event or something and my subjects are all in that range, that's great. If I needed to change it, so let's say they're closer, I could look at like blue. Blue would tell me to put my camera at f11, and it will go from about 15 feet to about 3 feet. So anything in 3 to 15 feet range, I would just kind of come over here and it will automatically adjust to there. And it's really adjusting for direct flash. So direct flash, so you've got the flash strictly over the lens, no bounce, nothing fancy like that, direct flash.